On Halloween 2008, an anonymous person, or maybe a group of people nobody knows, sent a 9-page document to about 1,000 cryptographers and privacy hackers. Most ignored it. The ones who didn't would quietly change the entire financial world. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how they did it. Not the buzzword version, but the real mechanics behind blockchain. And the last part, it's a twist nobody in the blockchain world likes to talk about. Grab a seat, let's get into it. Here's the problem blockchain was built to solve. Imagine you want to send $300 to a family member in the Philippines. Right now, you need a bank to confirm you actually have the money, that you haven't already sent it to someone else, and that the whole transaction gets recorded somewhere trustworthy. The bank charges you 6% for that service. It takes 3 business days, and if the bank collapses, which in 2008 felt very real, your money can disappear with it. That's not hypothetical. Lehman Brothers went down in a weekend. Savings evaporated. Trust in institutions cratered. Blockchain replaces the bank with math. Here's how. Every transaction gets bundled with other recent transactions into a block. Think of it like a page in a shared ledger notebook. Each block contains who sent what to whom, a timestamp, and a hash, a unique digital fingerprint of everything on that page. Change even one digit and the hash completely changes. It's like altering one word in a book and watching the entire cover redesign itself. You can't fake it. You can't quietly erase it. Here's where the chain part matters. Each block also contains the fingerprint of the block before it. To change an old transaction, you'd have to recalculate that block's fingerprint, then every block after it, faster than the entire global network is adding new ones. Bitcoin's network runs at roughly 500 exahashes per second. That's 500 million trillion calculations every single second. Altering history isn't just hard, it's computationally impossible. Instead of one bank's server holding the ledger, identical copies are distributed across roughly 15 to 20,000 computers worldwide. In Iceland, Nigeria, El Salvador, your neighbor's basement. For an attack to succeed, someone would need to control 51% of all that computing power simultaneously. Researchers estimate that would cost somewhere between $10 and $20 billion in hardware alone. And the person who designed all of this? Nobody knows who they are. The name on the white paper was Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi embedded a message into the very first Bitcoin block, mined on January 3, 2009. A newspaper headline reading, "Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks." That wasn't an accident, that was a manifesto. Satoshi collaborated with developers for 2 years, answered technical questions, built the thing, then vanished completely in April 2011, leaving a note saying they'd moved on to other things. Satoshi's estimated Bitcoin holdings sit at roughly 1.1 million coins, worth at various peaks over $70 billion. Not a single coin has ever moved in 16 years. The very first Bitcoin transaction happened on January 12, 2009. 10 coins sent to a developer named Hal in Santa Barbara, California. Finney later wrote, "In those early days, Satoshi and I were the only nodes. I think I was the first person besides Satoshi to run Bitcoin." The entire financial revolution in its first weeks ran on 2 computers, one belonging to a ghost. Here's what most people don't know about Hal Finney. The same year he received that first transaction, he was diagnosed with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. As the paralysis spread, he kept coding. When his hands stopped working, he switched to eye tracking software, writing lines of code by moving his eyes across a screen. He died in August 2014, never knowing if the thing he'd helped build would matter. His Bitcoin wallet, containing thousands of coins worth hundreds of millions of dollars today, has never been touched. Still sitting there, exactly where he left it. So that's what blockchain is. But here's where it gets interesting, what it actually does in the real world today. Walmart ran a test in 2018. How long does it take to trace a package of spinach back to the farm it came from? Using traditional supply chain records, the answer was 6 days, 18 hours, and 26 minutes. Think about what that lag means. In 2018, an E. coli outbreak in romaine lettuce killed 5 people and hospitalized 96 across 36 states. Investigators spent weeks tracing the source. With Walmart's blockchain system, built on IBM's Hyperledger Fabric, that same spinach trace takes 2.2 seconds. Not minutes, seconds. Frank Yanis, Walmart's VP of Food Safety, said, "If there's a problem, we can act in seconds." That's not an abstraction, that's lives. Then there are smart contracts, code that lives on the blockchain and executes automatically when conditions are met. No lawyers, no middlemen. The concept goes back to 1994 when computer scientist Nick Szabo described it using a vending machine. You put money in, the condition is met, the snack comes out. No human involved, no trust required. Ethereum brought that logic to life in 2015. Now companies like Etherisk use smart contracts for flight delay insurance. If your flight is delayed by more than 2 hours, verifiable automatically, your payout processes without you filing a single form. As of early 2024, over $50 billion in assets are locked in these kinds of contracts worldwide. And in January 2024, the SEC approved the first Bitcoin spot ETFs, drawing $4.6 billion in inflows on a single day. The largest ETF launch in history. BlackRock, Fidelity, the same institution's blockchain was built to replace, now building on top of it. If you're finding this useful, hit subscribe. I drop videos like this every week, and the best part is still coming. Remember how I said there was a twist nobody likes to talk about? Here it is. Blockchain was invented by people who didn't trust governments or banks. They built a system where you don't have to trust anyone, because the math makes dishonesty impossible. The whole pitch was freedom from surveillance, escape from the system, anonymous digital cash. And then the opposite happened. Because every transaction on a public blockchain is permanent and visible to anyone, blockchain turned out to be the most powerful forensic tool law enforcement has ever had. In 2016, hackers stole what would eventually become $3.6 billion from a crypto exchange called Bitfinex. They spent 6 years carefully moving the coins in tiny increments, convinced they were being clever. The blockchain remembered every move, every wallet, every timestamp. In 2022, 6 years later, investigators traced the entire trail and arrested a couple in New York. The coins were still there, fully traceable, exactly where the blockchain said they'd be. The FBI,